Hello guys, so today we will be creating a background service in Flutter, and this background service will be based on Android, and I will be using Java as the native code. And you can use Kotlin if you want, but for this tutorial Java will be used. And without wasting further time, let's create a project from the scratch. So now that our basic program is created, let's get started. And the first thing that we would need is a method channel. And why we need method channel? Because to create an Android service, we have to write a native code for the Android in the Java language or the Kotlin. And to communicate with the native language, we would need a method channel. So let's create a method channel, and we have to give name of variable. Let's give it a platform equal to new method channel, and here we have to provide a name. So for this, let's provide the background service. This can be any name, but it should be recognizable by you. We just have to import this library. So now the error is gone. Okay. After we create a method channel, we need to create a function that communicates with the native Java or the native platform that we have selected. In our case, it is Java. So let's create a function. This should be an async service. Now in the method channel, this method platform has a function called as invoke method. So whatever method that we provide here, the name of the method will be called from the native Java. So in the native Java, if we write some method called a start service, then that service will be called. So whatever name that we give provide here will be called from the native Java. So let me show you how it works. So just let's give it a name as start service, and it could be any name. I'm just giving start service, and it returns what? It returns a future. So we are just going to use await, and we are going to use dynamic variable because we don't know right now we don't know what will be the output of the invoke method, so we are just using dynamic. If you know what you are going to get from the native Java, you can use that data type, but for now we are just using dynamic. And print dynamic, sorry, value. Alright, now we have to call this function. So to call this function, we have to change this part. So instead of text, and instead of this count, let's remove both of this and use button, elevated button, and on press we are going to use start service, and the child is a text, and we should also remove this. It's not required. So for now, our code from the Flutter is complete, and now we have to open Android Studio and open this background service project. Alright, so let's do that now. And now open up the Android Studio, select the existing project, and navigate to where you have created the project. Now don't select the whole project, expand the project and select the Android part of the project now, and click OK after you select it. After this is open, go to app, go to Java, background service, and main activity. And now here we have to write our code for the native. Here we will write our native code, and here we will write every single code about the service. Also we will create service in here, and we will also look at how we are going to catch the invoke method that we have used in the Flutter. So let's do that. Okay, so the first thing we would need is to configure the Flutter engine. Okay, so write for this configure and override this method. So Flutter engine is responsible for communicating with the Flutter. So our Flutter core will communicate with the native code with the help of the configure Flutter engine. So for that we need to override the Flutter configure Flutter engine. Inside this function, write new method channel, right? And here we have to write another code, and that is Flutter engine dot get dot executor dot get binary messenger, and then we have to write the name. So we have to write the channel name. Remember that in the Flutter we used background service, so we also have to use the same name over here. So via this channel, this background service channel, we are going to communicate with the native code. All right, and then call the set method handler. Inside the method handler, override this method and implement this method call and result. All right, so what does this call and result contain? Right, we need to first check that. So the call is the method that has been called from the Flutter. So if we look here, we called the start service. So this call will contain the name of the method that has been called from the Flutter side, and result is used for sending response to the Flutter. And this all is happening with the help of this channel name. This channel name is very important that we defined over here. So this name and this name must be same, because this channel the Flutter is going to communicate with the native service. Let me just close this. Okay, And to demonstrate how what is happening, first let us do something. Let's print what is the method. Sorry, the print won't work here. System dot out dot println, that is call dot method. Let's see what happens when we use this. And one thing to you have to notice is that whenever you write a native code, you have to restart the application. You have to run the application again, so it won't work otherwise. All right, so let me run the application again. Okay, so now that our application is completely loaded, let's click on start background service and see what happens. So when we click here, we get this message. It is start service. The start service is from the system.out, and the system.out is used in the Java code that is in here. So from here, we're getting the response. So what we have to do here is that we have to change this, and we have to change this into the method, and we have to call this method. So call the method dot equals, and equals what, equals start service here. So whenever that start service function is called, is invoked, whatever we write here is going to be executed. All right, so we have to be very careful. And to send the response back to the Flutter, we have to use result dot success. So whatever we provide here, whatever we provide in the success will be returned to the channel, through the channel. And here we are going to write method found. All right, then if we click here, we get the method found. So here, so what happened is the Flutter first of all created a method channel. That channel is called as background service. Through that channel, we called a function called as start service. And on the native side, we called this function, we called this name start service, and we sent method channel found method. I mean, through the method channel, we sent this as a response. All right, so this is how just the basic native code execution works in Flutter. Now let's go ahead and create a service. To create a service, we have to go over here in the background service, right click, new service, service name. Here we have to write the name that we want. In our case, we are just going to use test service. Otherwise you can give any name that you like, and click finish. So the thing is, when we create a service through this way, it will be automatically added to the Android manifest. Alright, so it is automatically added over here. You don't have to go and add it. And if you create the service manually, you would have to add the service over here. So I would prefer this method that I've just shown you. Alright, and here we have to write our service code. So first of all, we have to override on start command, right? on start command, we have to override this method. So whatever code that we write here is going to be executed from the background service. So if I write toast dot make test, so get application context, and this is from service, and toast dot length and show. All right, and on this command, on this onStat command, we have to return something. We are going to return start non-sticky. You can use sticky also, it's just your preference. Okay, it's nothing more than that. Save this again, go back here, go back to your project and restart the application again. Okay, so we did make a mistake, and the mistake is that since we have created the service, we have to start the service, and to start the service we have to write the intent over here, the intent to start the service, and we forgot that, so that is why it won't work. So intent is equal to, okay, first import this, equal to new intent, and here we have to give this and the class of the service that we are going to create, and that is test service dot class. All right, and then we have to start this intent. To start the service we have to use start service, and here we will provide the intent. Okay, save this project again, go back and restart the application again. Okay, so now that the application is restarted again, let's click on background service, and you can see that we have post is presented. So now we have, so right now we have created the most basic service in the Flutter. This is the most basic way of creating the background service. All right, we can write more code here, and I mean in the test service, but the most the easiest way is are the 5 steps that we have to follow for creating Android service, background service in Flutter for Android. All right, and those basic steps are this. Okay, the first thing that we have to do is we have to create a method channel. All right, then we have to invoke methods to channel. All right, and the third thing we have to do is we have to implement or override Flutter engine. The fourth thing that we have to do is we have to create service. I mean this test service that we have created. All right, and then you have to write the logic in the service that you would like. So I'm not going to teach you how you have to write your how you have to write code in service, because I assume that you already know how the service works in Android, and this tutorial is just to show you how the background services work in Flutter. So you can probably write your own code over here. I mean, You can create threads and do whatever you like, but this is just the basic way. So the first thing that we would do is create a method channel, then invoke methods through that channel, and on the native side we have to override this Flutter engine. Then we have to use this method channel, and you have to set this name properly, and here we are going to catch the methods, and we are going to start the intents and make sure that the service that you have created is in the Android manifest. If it is not in the manifest, your application will crash. It's more likely to crash. It's definitely crash. And the result, not success. And if you have more doubts on this, how this is working, I will be happy to help you. Write it down in the comment, and I will respond to you as soon as possible. And if you like this tutorial, do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because it means a lot to me. And thank you, and have a wonderful day. Bye.